Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's quite an interesting one where I got to also acknowledge the gentlemen that are here. So thank you to the partners that are attending. Really appreciate you being here to be supportive of your better half. Really appreciate that one. Sorry, I didn't catch that one. But anyway, we'll move on. We'll move on. Some dry accountant humor. But for those that don't know me, my name is Naeem Asfat, and I'm the Regional Executive for SAICA Eastern Region. I think first and foremost, this is an important function. This is an important event. This is an important celebration. And the celebration here is for 20 phenomenal women that have been through this program, a very complex program over the last 6 months. A lot of learning that has been done, a lot of things that you had to implement, a lot of thought processes that you had to go through and undergo to shape and change your mind in terms of what you will be doing into the future. So your journey or your career journey has started. It started a long time ago, but I think with this program, this is where it adds that impetus to your thinking process in terms of where you want to be and what you want to do. And I think that's the reason why we're here to celebrate. And to celebrate this event, to let our, some of us got not too much of hair, but for those that do, to let our hair down and enjoy the function today. And I think this is at the same time, it's also to network. I think these are some of the things that were taught to you in the program, the networking, the relationship building, and these are important key elements of a career journey. Now, having said that, Teruna and I have been discussing the program for next year in terms of what will be required for next year. And I want to draw your attention to a few things from a SAICA perspective, and one being CA 2025. And I know I'm probably preaching to the converted about reading your emails and things like that. You would have received this communication, or rather a number of communications over the last 1.5 to 2 years with regards to CA 2025. And it's actually just a term, but actually what it means is the CA of the future. And the basic thing about it is what will be the skills and competence that a chartered accountant is going to require now, and what that chartered accountant will require into the future. The world of business is changing, the economy is changing with innovation, with artificial intelligence that's coming in, and I think these may be some of the buzzwords that you hear all along. You hear about data analytics, big data, artificial intelligence, and sometimes we really don't understand what these things are. They seem to be these airy-fairy concepts that are not sometimes real in our daily life, or rather daily work life. I can assure you that all of these things are real. All of these things are affecting us in one way or another. And I think that embracing of change, the old adage of where you need to adapt or die, that's very relevant right now. Talking about innovation, it's all about innovative thinking. And innovation is not only from that IT perspective that there has to be some computer program or something that will dictate what innovation is. Innovation comes from within, and that change and the need to think differently and implement differently. What was true in the past still holds true. However, would it still be relevant into the future? And I think you will need to answer that question. You will need to answer that question for yourself in terms of what you want to do and where you want to go. This is where I will encourage you to go onto the SAICA website, have a look at the CA 2025 subpage, and you will see the competencies that have been identified over a 3 to 4 year project on skills and competencies that chartered accountants will require into the future. Some of the headlines, as an example, is a digital acumen that talks about the data analytics, etc., all of these things. Then it also talks about business acumen, and in there is a lot of what has been taught to you over this last 6 months in terms of those pervasive soft skills, which are incredibly important in this day and age from a networking perspective, from a career perspective, and more importantly, from a career progression point of view. I know I'm laboring and emphasizing this in terms of the program of what has been presented and what you have been through. In terms of the program, you know the worth of it. The worth of it will only show is what you practically go and implement thereafter. Coming to a session, sitting there, listening, and go back and do nothing, it's not going to help anybody. The choice is yours, and I always use this example being a parent. And those with kids would understand this one when you get Play-Doh or plasticine. You see them playing with that stuff in their hands. So pretty much if I can ask you to think about this, where your Play-Doh and your plasticine is in your hands, and that Play-Doh and plasticine is your life, your career, and how are you going to mold it. And that is the power that lies within you, and with the tools, tips and tricks that have been shared with you by Usha Maraj, our wonderful facilitator of this program. And I think with these two individuals that have been driving this project, which is Usha Maraj, who are very well known, and also the other well known Taruna, and a big thanks to them to bring this program together for you. We hope to see the change in the near future, and I think that's the intention, is to see you progress, is to give you those tools that you can use to take you up further. That's the most basic idea of the whole thing. So having spoken about CA 2025 CPD, I mean it'll be not a conversation or a SAICA function where we don't talk about CPD. It's there, it's real. It has to be done. But what I want to emphasize to you is not CPD. The point of emphasis is lifelong learning. You will know this better than I. In the functions and the jobs that you perform, if you are not constantly learning, you will be outdated and left behind. No matter what you do, if you are not constantly learning and improving yourself, the challenge is that you will be outdated very soon. And a constant state of evolution. We had the Woman in Accounting breakfast, and the speaker, Zipho Sikakane, she talked about this concept of VUCA, the constant world of change. And it's something that we'll need to embrace. We as chartered accountants are kind of hardwired that we want stability, but in all honesty, can anybody tell me that even in this last week that you've had stability for a short period of time? And I can see the heads are turning this way and that way and saying, it never happens. So this is a constant world that we're in, the constant world of change. And we've got to embrace it, or we are going to be left behind. So with this change comes a change in our CPD policy. And the CPD policy with emphasis on lifelong learning, where it will change from an input-based system to an output-based system. And I've mentioned this dozens of times, and I'll say it again. So for those that have already heard it, please do forgive me, you're going to hear it again. The CPD process has changed from input, which is hours-based, 120 hours over the 3-year rolling cycle, etc. And what we found was where members were coming to CPD workshops or CPD events for the simple reason of ticking that box, adding no value to anyone, adding no value to self, adding no value to employer, or as an entrepreneur, if you are in business, adds no value to anybody. Simply put, a colossal waste of time for everybody. And that is where we're moving away from, to an output-based system, which is going to be an easy system. I'm not going to say for you it's going to be an incredibly difficult one. However, it will be a little bit of a difficult one for you. You've been through a journey already, and you've already in that thought process. The easy part is where you decide what you want to upskill yourself in. What skill and competency do you want to achieve for the next year and the years to come, with the emphasis again on lifelong learning. So where does the difficult part come in? So the difficult part comes in is that 1 hour of your life, where at the beginning of the year or later on this year, where you are going to sit with yourself and have a conversation with yourself. It may sound a bit weird, and you're probably thinking that I need to be committed to a psychiatric institute for saying have a conversation with yourself. But it is important to introspect. And that introspection will come from deep down within you to think about what do you want to do into the future. Some tools, tips and tricks have been shared with you by Usha. Some guidance has been given to you. But this is where the real thinking happens now. And that real thinking is on your career. Where do you want to go with your career? What skill and competence you are going to require. So that 1 hour of your life is going to be a difficult one. And for the simple reason is that we find it hard. We find it difficult to take time out in the day or the night for that matter, just to think about ourselves. Some of the emphasis Usha has mentioned is you got to think about yourself as well. We've got families, we've got extended families, etc. But all what I'm asking is 1 hour of your time or 1 hour of me time. It could be at the spa, it could be beach or wherever. But just have that 1 hour to yourself to think about yourself, your career, your journey, and where do you want to go. As I said, it's going to be incredibly difficult 1 hour, but it's going to be an easy one because it's not going to be time-based. So as an example, if you choose and you say, I just want to learn about IFRS 16, so be it. And if you're not in the finance function, you'd say, I only want to learn about strategy, as an example, or forecasting, or whatever the case may be. Whatever you decide that is going to be relevant to you, that's going to add value to you, is where we want you to think. What we want you to think is left up to you. We are not going to dictate to you. We are going to leave your career in your hands. And as I mentioned, the example of the Play-Doh, of molding it to what you want it to be. I am sure and I'm convinced that with what Usha has shared with you has given you the confidence to think differently, to think about things that you've never thought before, to take the steps that you were scared to take before, and now to actually be confident chartered accountants in the workplace and going out there and getting what you want. So, having said that with my short welcome, as you would know, I'm a man of very few words. I'd now like to welcome Usha Maharaj to the stage for her address and for her words of wisdom. Usha? Thank you.
Thank you, Naeem. Naeem, the SAICA Eastern Region Fearless Leader. I just want to say I am so excited, and all of you know that I'm so excited about graduation this morning. The Leadership Evolution Masterclass is truly one of the most fundamentally different transformational programs that I've ever seen. And I'm not saying that because it's my program. I've been on tons and tons of programs. I'm saying it because of the journeys and the transformations that I've seen in every single one of our students this year and in every single one of our students from last year. So I really want to kick off by saying thank you to SAICA, to Naeem for pushing this and making sure that it is in the Eastern region and not just paying lip service to women empowerment, to actually saying that it's important and then making it happen. And to Taruna, who behind the scenes and in front of the scenes and inside of the scenes is constantly just running to make sure that everything works and that we're doing things when we should be doing it, and it's rolling and happening the way it should be rolling and happening. I'll do a really quick introduction on the program for those of you who don't know what it is but have only seen the effects either at home or in the workplace. The Leadership Evolution Masterclass is a program that really works on transforming attendees and participants from the inside all the way to the outside. And from the inside, we start off looking at a mindset and understanding how our brains function and understanding the psychology that's happening behind all of the reactions and the responses that we're putting out there into the world on a daily basis. And we start off really working on our inner selves, working on our confidence, working on understanding who we truly are, and then strengthening the belief that who we truly are is actually enough. And not just enough, it's actually more than enough to achieve whatever dreams and goals and aspirations we're striving toward. We utilize the Contribution Compass, and I want to do a quick shout out to Contribution Compass for sponsoring the profiles for all of our Lems students. The Contribution Compass helps us to understand our strengths, helps us to understand where the gaps might be, and then helps us to really see how we can connect the dots between our experiences in our daily work lives, in our daily home lives, just in terms of what we're putting out there, and connect it back to our true personality that's on the inside. And once we do that, we get a whole bunch of aha moments and insights to say, well, that's who I am. That is why I love doing these things. That's why I'm so passionate in this area and why I'm not so passionate in this area. And when Naeem talks about CPD and the fact that SAICA is looking at personalizing how CPD works and not just using a one stroke fits all approach, that's exactly what we do in Lems, and it ties into what you've all been doing for yourselves in seeing that who you are, your individuality, what you bring, your gifts, your talents, your strengths, that is what you should be focusing on, and that's where you're going to shine the most, and that's where you're going to create the greatest amount of joy for yourselves and the greatest amount of value for yourselves, your family, your communities, and the companies that you work for and that you serve. And the fact that CPD now at SAICA is aligned to that sort of approach is brilliant. It really is fabulous. And the focus on continuous learning and development is something you've all taken out of this journey, and it's something that we will see you just take into the future. And I mean, we've seen it in our past students where continuous learning and development has become part of them. It's embedded in who they are, in what they do, and I guarantee we'll see it in all of you as well. So I'm really excited about that. And the Leadership Evolution Masterclass helps you to strengthen that core belief in who you are, really is a boost to confidence. If you measured confidence at the start of the program and if you measure it at the end, you'll see a huge spike in just the amount of confidence you've got in the gifts that you're bringing out there and the talents that you're bringing and in the abilities that you've got. And through the process, one of the tools that we use is LinkedIn. LinkedIn doesn't only create social media presence, doesn't only help you to network socially and connect with the world out there and read good content and share good content, but through that journey, it helps you to understand what it is you are bringing into the world, what you've achieved already, and it helps you to cement the value that you're adding and the belief in yourself in terms of the value that you're adding. And when we end off the program, our session 5, the most exciting and the program that generates the most amount of laughs, I think, with the Pretty Woman analogy and Richard Gere standing there with a bunch of roses. But what we're doing in that session is we're really awakening that inner gladiator, that inner sense of I'm confident on the inside. I've got all of this belief. I know where I'm going with our goal-setting programs. I know where I'm going. I know how I'm going to get there. And now I just really need to portray it on the outside. And in the gladiator awakening, almost in that last session that we do, being able to use your physiology, and your body language and the gestures that you're doing to generate confidence for you on the outside is how we just wrap up the entire session. So the Leadership Evolution Masterclass is not just a program, it is a journey, it's an evolution, it's a transformation that we see in every single one of the students that join the program. And I am so excited to hear what you're going to share in terms of your personal transformations, your personal experiences, and to actually portray the personal confidence that you've generated and created in yourselves through this journey. So I'm really, really excited to take us through that. The format for the rest of the program will be an opportunity where we hand over to you, our students of 2019, our SAICA Lems graduates of 2019, we hand over to each of you to come up here and share your journey, share your story with the rest of us, and just inspire us and just cement for yourself the transformation that you've experienced. And then we do a photo shoot, so you get to smile, accept your certificate, and we'll do that in front of this beautiful photo wall here. And that's the format that we're going to follow for the rest of the program. But before I hand over to Naeem, who will introduce each of our graduates, I am going to personally introduce Taruna, who has labeled herself the Chief Experience Officer for Lems, and for no small reason. I mean, every time we walked into the room, every time we attended to communication from Lems, the meticulous nature in which she's handled absolutely everything. From day one of the Lems program, when we've registered to start the journey together, all the way to today, when you walk into the room and you just get this experience and this awe and this feeling of, oh my gosh, this is such a special program. I think our Chief Experience Officer has done that with such flair and grace, and hasn't done it because it's a job or a role or responsibility. Has done it because she truly is passionate about Lems, about the program, about the transformations, and more than that, she's truly passionate about seeing each and every one of you experience the fullest benefits out of the program. So I want to welcome Taruna up to do her speech, and then we'll hand her her certificate, and then Naeem's going to take it from there. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, and I'll catch you again on the other side of the program. Let's give Taruna a huge round of applause.
So greetings, everyone. To my regional executive, Naeem Asfat, Usha Maraj, the facilitator and founder of Lems, dear guest, and of course, our priceless Lems gems. So for those of you who don't know me, I've already introduced myself. I am Taruna Bramdo, the events coordinator of KZN, aka Chief Experience Officer. However, for those who do, are very much aware that I have a deep-seated passion, an absolute compulsion to create incredible member experiences. It's all about that amazing feeling that fires up those neurotransmitters, be it a member engagement, an event, a special project. I represent a personal brand, and that of SAICA. And with a service mindset, I dedicated to creating member value, honoring loyalty, and building trust. Most importantly, I make it my business to know what you as a member need. And with this in mind, last week, while writing in my gratitude journal, I knew I had to come up today and share a message with you. However, I knew that the authenticity of my message to you this morning had to be simple yet powerful. And I have to say, the thought of me saying something that impactful really was daunting. What do I say to a room of dynamic, vibrant, strong leaders that have come this far? Pondering, pen to paper, this is my tribute to you. It's a free verse that I have written, and I call it I Have Risen. I am a melody, a rhythm that's part of a beat. I am the soul of the universe, the heart of a nation, the core of what's right. I am magnificent. I am significant, Yes, I am significant. I have a voice, if you care to listen. My words are atoms. It will unleash the power of change. Listen. I have transformed, I have transitioned, I have triumphed, I have reflected, I have reclaimed. And today, I have risen. To the Lems graduates of 2019, this is your rising, your opportunity to take the knowledge that you have earned and create rewarding value and exponential successes throughout your journey. I can confidently say that the Lems program has reshaped your own perception of how you view yourself. And with this courage, let your actions create the legacy to inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more. And with that, I wish you all well and an abundance of lifelong learning, one Wonder Woman power pose at a time. Thank you.
I'd now like to call upon Nicolene John. I'm sure you are trying to guess who's going to be next. And the suspense. But nevertheless, Nicolene, can we call upon you?
I don't know if I'm too tall. Good morning, everyone. You know, as a woman, it's so easy to get lost behind a myriad of responsibilities and titles of being a wife, a mother, a daughter, a sister, and a career woman. For me, a large part of embarking on this Leadership Evolution Masterclass was to take a time out, to do something for myself that would assist a transformation in areas of my career that I desperately required. But more so, it was fueled by me wanting to do something just for me that would feed my soul. Lems has allowed me to achieve both. It has given me the opportunity to embark on a journey of introspection and self-discovery, and that has redefined me and realigned my goals to achieve what is significant and intricate to my well-being. In order to evolve and to improve, you have to understand who you are. Know your strengths, your weaknesses, and your energies. The contribution compass was my eureka moment, as it provided an in-depth understanding of who I am and where I want to be. This was reinforced by my standout from this journey, which came from goal setting and charting my path, my true path to success. And I wanted goals not just professionally, but personally as well. Whilst we all have goals that we know we want to achieve, without taking the time to put this to paper, we are living in limbo, lost in our day-to-day monotony, unable to give these goals life or to measure where we are on the road to achieving them. On the other side of this latest chapter in my life story, I have redefined my goals and confirmed what I always knew was most important to me: my husband, my son, and my family. Sharing my experience and feelings with other women on this journey has helped me find a way to deal with my guilt and my constant battle to find that perfect work-life balance. It afforded me the reminder that wanting to afford your loved ones every luxury and to spoil them, it comes at a very huge sacrifice. There have been many highlights over the last few months, with some very cringe-worthy topics on networking, delegation, and difficult conversations. But when I look back, I see a person with low self-confidence and low self-esteem, bogged down by routine and deadlines and detail. But coming out of this transformation, I look forward to unlocking Nicolene 2.0. An improved, confident, stronger, inspired version of myself, ready to overcome challenges, build a circle of trusted relationships and networks, and ready to take the next step in climbing the corporate ladder. To Usha and my fellow Lems graduates and partners in crime, thank you. It has been so rewarding having to share this journey with you. I want to remind you that strong women are not simply born. They are forged through the challenges of life, and with each challenge, we grow mentally and emotionally. We move forward with our head held high and a strength that cannot be denied. In the words of Wonder Woman herself, you are stronger than you believe. You have greater powers than you know, because we are warriors. Thank you.
And then, who's next? I'd now like to call upon Mbali Ngubane. Mbali. Drum roll. Suspense.
Morning once again. I don't remember what my answers to the questions asked in the Lems program application form were. But I knew from those questions that this was not going to be any other program. It was also the first program where you had to send a declaration of your commitment before even starting. And I remember thinking to myself, this was going to be hectic. And boy, was I right. What I also remember is that I wanted to be a better person, or should I say, a better version of myself. Public speaking or any kind of speaking is not my strongest point, but standing here and talking in front of you guys makes me feel like I have arrived. It is also proof that the program has achieved what it has promised, if not more. I thought I knew myself, but being on this program helped me to reach deep within and face the me I had hidden deep. It also awoke my Sasha fears. I am bolder, I'm confident, and I'm more sure of what I want and how to actually go about doing it. Because we all have these dreams, we know what we want, but then you get busy and you end up not really chasing or focusing on what you want. So being on this Lems program also helped me to focus and to also remind myself of what I had really wanted when I started this journey of being a CA. And thanks to Usha for selecting me to be part of this amazing program and for taking us on this amazing journey of self-discovery. And thanks to all the lovely ladies which I met through this program. It's always nice to know that you're not alone with your struggles. And remember, there is a superwoman in all of us. Thank you.
Who's next? I'd now like to call upon Amita Naidu. Amita?
Hello, everybody. Being a working mother comes with so many responsibilities. We have to wear so many hats and tend to prioritize everyone else's needs above our own. and often lose sight of our dreams and goals. We are usually constantly overwhelmed, stressed, and exhausted. This is exactly how I felt a few months ago. When I came across the SAICA Lems program, I knew that this just might be the answer to my prayers. From the very first session, Usha equipped us with practical tools and techniques to assist us in many aspects of our professional and personal lives through the homework exercises. All content was backed up by research and theory that included everything from how our brains are wired, our value systems, personality traits to body language, and how that impacts our thoughts, decisions, and confidence, as well as the effect on the brand that we are presenting. Each homework exercise also called for deep introspection that had to be shared with our fellow Lems gems. This was not always easy, but it was a crucial part of this journey. It was this introspection that this quote struck a chord with me. A woman is a masterpiece created by God with his very own hands. But being a woman is more than biology. It comes with complexity of recognizing herself. Once recognized, she can do anything and everything. This is what Lems course has done for me. It has helped me to recognize myself and shifted my mindset to refocus on the very things that matter to me the most. Lems has helped me stop looking for validation of others and feeling guilty for prioritizing myself. It has also helped me delegate by teaching me the failure to do so is actually robbing someone else of growth and learning opportunities. And lastly, when I needed a confidence boost, just lift up my hand. Thank you to all our Lems gems for the feedback, advice, insights that you have so graciously shared. It was a real joy connecting with each and every one of you. And thanks to Naeem and SAICA for realizing the need for programs such as Lems, and to Taruna for always going the extra mile to make us feel so special. And finally, to our mentor and ultimate Lems gem, Usha. You are a true inspiration and remarkable woman. Thank you for believing in each and every one of us and guiding us to the wonder woman we truly are. Lems is by far my best investment I've made in myself. The one word that I can use to describe Lems is uplifting.
So that's a nice one. Lems gem. That's a nice one. I'd now like to call upon Kirshni Govender. Kirshni.
Good morning, everyone. I'm not much of a public speaker, but I'm going to give it a try. I know everything that Usha's taught us will give me the confidence to go through it. Lems, what a journey this has been. My journey with Lems started off with me wanting to learn how to be a good leader for my team in order to bring out the best in them. Little did I know, the first step in this lifelong journey was to bring out the best out of the most important person in my life, myself. During the last few months, I learned so much about myself and my potential, and that came from being honest with myself, something I'd never done before. I learned to draw my own path and not follow someone else's path, to gauge myself against my standards and not standards preset as the norm. I learned how to be confident in myself, both at work and personally, and to say no when I needed to. Previously, I felt alone and never felt that someone could understand what I was going through. But now, being part of Lems, I found that we all have similar struggles and goals, and I don't feel alone anymore. I know that if I ever need anyone to chat to, I have you ladies, the Lems ladies of 2019. The biggest thing I took from Lems is self-awareness. I learned that I had to admit my flaws to myself. And now that I know what my flaws are, I know it before it even comes up. I've learned how to be a better version of myself. The power was within me all this time, and all I needed to do was believe in myself and to let it crack through the surface and shine. Over the last few months, I've become more spontaneous, taken more risks, started to make more friends, and I've started to love myself even more than before. Lems has taught me that before I can be the best for everyone else, I need to be the best for myself. I am my own brand creator, and if I don't believe in myself, how can anyone else? I know I'm not going to change overnight, and I have a long way to go in my journey. But if I do what makes me happy, and I stay true to myself and my values, I'll always succeed. Thank you, Usha, for giving me the confidence to know that I can achieve everything. And I think it's like everyone always tells you, you learn so many things throughout your life, and you think you have the confidence in you, but during this journey, you just showed us that we can basically do whatever we want and be whoever we want to be.
Lems Gems 2.0, I think that's a nice one. I'd now like to call upon Anushka Bhagwandin. Anushka.
Good morning, all. I feel privileged to be a part of the Lems 2019 journey. Lems, as we all know, stands for Leadership Evolution Masterclass. Leadership is a practical skill encompassing the ability to guide individuals or an organization. Evolution means the development of something over a period of time, and the definition of a masterclass refers to a class given by an expert to highly skilled individuals. Lems has been all this and so much more. For me, this journey has been inspiring and forced me to dig deep and invest in myself. It's so easy to fall into the mundane tasks of everyday life that we forget to live. I have always thought of myself as being driven, but in the last year, found myself driving without knowing where I was going. Putting pen to paper on my goals was my personal light bulb moment, and it has already seen me making a huge career shift during this process, which has been nothing but positive, and I have not looked back. We can't give to others and successfully lead if our own tank is empty. My personal evolution has been remarkable, and I finally understand the concepts of emotional intelligence and even networking. This masterclass has been nothing like I've ever experienced before, and it really is a special feeling to meet so many unique individuals, hear your stories, and realize how much alike we all are. It's not just the CASA that connects us, but that we are all strong, empowered women who decided that 2019 is the year we start living our best lives. Thank you, Usha, for being incredible through this journey and being so invested in each of us. What you do is truly admirable. I just want to leave you with a Margaret Thatcher quote that I think is so relevant. It goes, "Any woman who understands the problems of running a home will be nearer to understanding the problems of running a country." Thank you.
Thank you, Anushka. I'd now like to call upon Olivia Dirikant. Olivia.
Thank you. Oh gosh, it's going to make me very tall. Morning, everyone. I'm also known as Olivia Jones. Working through the Lems program has taught me to think differently. Instead of allowing myself to feel stuck, I've learned the tools to channel my energy and be more aligned to my core and get in touch with my inner coach. As Maya Angelou says, if you don't like something, change it. And if you can't change it, change your attitude. The Lems program started as I found out that my world would be turning upside down. I had decided to take charge, make a change in my career, but the universe had other plans. I found out that I'm pregnant. And you know what? That's okay. And as Usha said, it couldn't be any better timing. Getting to know myself, my values, and my strengths have helped me to realize that I want more than my CA. I'm breathless. I want to have a positive influence on everyone I meet, especially those I lead, and I'm going to do this while being an amazing mom and wife. And I know that it is possible after having met and gotten to know each and every one of you. The Lems program has ignited my passion for people, not just ordinary people, passionate, motivated, and high-performing individuals who know what they want, know what is important, and work towards being the best version of themselves daily. We are women, phenomenally. That's us. And I look forward to growing further with all of you strong women by my side. Thank you.
I'd now like to call upon Shamona Bharat. I think for the three ladies that are from out of town that have made the journey every month to come through, we really appreciate you doing that. And I think that this shows your dedication and your commitment. I think Amita, Pietermaritzburg, and Nabila from Pietermaritzburg as well. Thank you for being so dedicated and committed to this program. Shamona?
Let me just take the view in first and get comfortable with all of these new faces. Good morning, everyone. I feel extremely grateful for the opportunity to share my Lems journey with you today. Holistically, the design of this program is exceptional. The sessions were jam-packed with practical, effective, and relevant content. We had time to interact, to reflect, and to develop ourselves. I remember Usha stating in session 1 that the course utilized brain-based coaching, which affects change through improved thinking. As we progressed, I constantly found myself thinking and reflecting on the different areas touched on in the sessions and seeking to improve myself. Actioning change became second nature. I became more energized, focused, and excited as a result. Little did I realize that in that process, I was transforming into a better version of myself. My key takeaways from the Lems program are: I know myself better from walking through the contribution compass. I have learned more due to having a different perspective from interacting with the Lems ladies. I've had the opportunity to reflect on my professional journey and see how much I have accomplished, what my capabilities are, and how much more I can still do. Lems has changed my mindset from certain things are not possible to I can achieve anything that I set my mind to and work hard at. I have all that is required within myself to succeed. In conclusion, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Taruna, Naeem, Usha, and my fellow Lems ladies for helping me through this process with warmth, kindness, and no judgment. The word that I would use to describe this program is empowering. Thank you.
I'd now like to call upon Silindile Gomedi. Silindile.
Good morning, all. I will not go around the room and greet everyone one by one. Tarun already did that for us. So I'll say my favorite line, all protocol are observed. Okay, so maybe let's start with a proper introduction. My name is Silindile Tulile Zbuyele Kumete. I am an audit manager at Video South Africa. I'm previously an audit manager at PricewaterhouseCoopers, where I finished my articles with first-time passes in both my ITC and my EPC. Per the contribution compass, I'm a connector. And I am a first-generation chartered accountant from both sides of my family, not only in my immediate family, but also in my extended family. Now, some of you might be wondering why I'm reciting my CV or blowing my own horn, but I'm just trying to highlight one of the greatest insights that I've gained on this journey on Lems, which is a greater sense of self. And today I'm able to acknowledge my achievements because Usha sort of told us that it is okay to do so. As people, we often tend to, particularly as women, we tend to focus so much on the negative aspects. We focus on what we failed at previously. We focus on what we didn't do correctly before, or we focus on what we haven't yet achieved. But it is okay to stop and congratulate yourself because you've come so far in life. And I say this because it has now become a springboard and a confidence booster in my life. And I know that I can and I will achieve even more. And I just want to honor and thank you, Usha, for all that you've done for me and for the rest of our Lems Gems. I know that we're all going to become Lems Gems 2.0, as Nicolene has said. And in closing, I'd just like to read out what I had written when I was doing my survey, just to sort of describe Usha. And it says, Usha is nothing short of amazing. She is intelligent, funny, attentive, empathetic, compassionate, and insightful. Her passion for what she does is unmatched and shines through in the remarkable manner in which she conducts the leadership evolution masterclasses, sorry. She is knowledgeable on all the subject matter which she presents and does so in such a relatable and apt way. The combination of her brilliance and experience has made for a lovely combination of ingenious sessions, which have become the highlight of my month over the past few months. And I'm really sad that this has come to an end, but I know that we will all hopefully stay in touch, and it's been such a privilege and an honor to meet every single one of you. Thank you. And yes, I didn't write my speech down.
I'd now like to call upon Karina Hamblock. Karina.
I'm a little bit afraid of heights, so this is also stepping out of into comfort, out of my comfort. Good morning, everybody. When I signed up for this masterclass, I had really no idea what to expect, even though the course was outlined outlined clearly from the beginning. And never did I expect to be so inspired by the 4 steps of the transformation process. The first step being the inner transformation through the contribution compass, profiling personal reflections and sharing in the classroom and with our homework partners. The second step being the outer transformation, exercises and tools so that our outer experience matches our inner growth. Thirdly, the call to action. In Usha's words, change requires action, and action requires clarity and simplicity. So from the goal setting to step-by-step instructions on handling difficult daily situations like a pro. And then the fourth step, making connections and building communities through powerful social and business networks through networking and LinkedIn. However, when I was looking back on the process, I came to the realization that for me, the success of this personal transformation process would depend on the following two factors. Firstly, my beliefs and what I was telling myself. So if what I was telling myself before was holding me back, I needed to start telling myself something different. Like, I still have so much to learn. I have time to invest in myself. Investing in myself is good, not just for me, but for others around me. And I can choose courage over comfort. And then secondly, knowing myself, who I am and what I'm capable of. And then accepting and embracing myself. Because only then can I truly start to develop my talents and maximize my potential. So, in conclusion, it feels like this Lems journey is coming to an end too soon, and I still have so much to learn from Usha and from our fellow Lems ladies. But I can humbly look back to see how far I've come, and I can look forward with confidence and excitement to what is lying ahead. Thank you.
I'd now like to call upon Nabila Ali. Nabila? I mean, the suspense is killing when you're going to come up, isn't it? Like, who's next?
Hi. So if you've Googled how to write a graduation speech, and I bet most of us did, then you know we're supposed to begin with a quote. The Leadership Evolution Masterclass series gave meaning to the words of Eleanor Roosevelt. I quote, "You gain courage and confidence from doing the things you think you cannot do," unquote. In a nutshell, this is exactly what the Lems program provided us: confidence and courage. Our coach, Usha Maraj, shared with us numerous practical guidelines to enable us to do many of the things we once thought we could not do. For example, how to increase our productivity by implementing the 6 secrets to effective delegation, and how to address the problems that inadvertently arise by using the framework for handling tough conversations. Implementing these solutions has truly shaped us into better leaders. The Contribution Compass profiling tool provided us with meaningful insights into our natural energies and strengths. Having this knowledge from the start of the program afforded us a deeper understanding of who we were and granted us the confidence to pursue new opportunities. When drafting our LinkedIn summaries in order to develop our personal brands, we were encouraged to showcase our talents and skills, acknowledge our achievements, and not to shy away from celebrating our successes. The value I derived from this program was phenomenal, and I cannot thank SAICA and Usha Maraj enough for collaborating to make this program a reality. I would also like to thank our fellow Lems Gems for making this program so effective and being such great support and motivation during the homework sessions. It really would not have been the same without you. And last but not least, a heartfelt thank you to Taruna for being an exceptional coordinator, for being so thoughtful with the catering, and so generous with the gifts. I leave you with the words of Usha Maraj herself. I quote, "Always be authentic, remain true to yourself, your values, and your personal brand," unquote. Usha repeated these words in every class, and I have to affirm these really are words to live by. Congratulations, the class of 2019. Well done, ladies. Thank you.
Thank you, Nabila. We'd now like to call upon Bernice Pillay. Bernice, if we can ask you to come on.
Good morning, all. People often say life is a journey, enjoy the ride. And I always say life is anything but an enjoyable journey, as it always throws you curveballs. When I was first approached with the suggestion to join Lems, I declined. As I'd been on many other leadership courses, then I didn't see how Lems would be any different. And then I was asked to do a profiling exercise, and my reaction was, gosh, no, not another one. But I decided to be a diligent student and completed to the best of my ability, and boy was I amazed at the results. So I'm very proud to stand up here today and say that I was very much wrong in my initial assessment of Lems being just another leadership course. This has been a unique journey of self-discovery for me. I always considered myself a confident person, but I learned that I believed myself to be confident, and it was only confidence in an environment that was familiar to me and that I was comfortable in. Lems has taught me to be comfortable, to portray confidence in environments both that are familiar to me and unfamiliar to me. Lems has taught me to set goals outside of my comfort zone, and most importantly, Lems has taught me that if you continue to do what you do every day, you will never move up the corporate ladder. The journey has taught me to be bold and think big. I had the remarkable opportunity of meeting 19 beautiful women, both internally and externally. All of my homework partners have shared valuable insights with me and have shared useful tips and tricks which I won't forget. And I'm looking forward to sharing future journeys with each of you, and I look forward to taking over the world with you. Usha has been an absolutely phenomenal mentor, and I just want to thank you for being such a role model in the industry and an inspiration to women. To Teruna, Naeem, and the SAICA team, thank you so much for your unwavering support of women in the profession. I end this journey with a quote that I learned from my Lems journey, and that is that limits exist only in the mind. Thank you.
You know, there's an interesting one when I look at the order of proceedings, and you see how Teruna has got this thing down to the fine detail, where she says that the next person, Katanya Reddy, will be on at 10:22. I mean, to the minute she keeps it. I mean, can you imagine that? So Katanya, can we call you?
Good morning, everyone. I enrolled on this course to discover more about myself, to realign my focus, and to ensure that I take the time to develop myself. I can confidently stand here today and say that I have done all of those things. I've had a few realizations during the course, and these are a few I would like to share. The limitations we place on ourselves are what restrict us from achieving our goals and being our true self. I will carry this with me always as a reminder to not limit myself. Whilst this may appear to be a simple concept, we are often guilty of doing it without even knowing. I enjoyed the idea of a perfect world where we could each do what we were good at, thereby perfecting our own unique qualities. We are all unique individuals who call upon different strengths. We operate in environments based on our background, our upbringing, our experiences, and we must always embrace this and remain true to our authentic self. I believe I have become more confident, and I have been reminded to always reflect on how much I've achieved thus far. The course has opened up my eyes to the endless possibilities that are present if you are able to be brave enough, to be bold, to believe in your abilities, and to stay true to yourself. It is an ongoing journey for which I am better prepared. We are stronger than we realize and know. Thank you.
Please don't feel shy to share anything on Facebook. So if you are playing with your phone, it's fine, as long as you're Facebooking it. And also, don't forget SAICA Eastern Region Facebook page. Always important. Tag us in and all of that stuff. Instagram and Snapchat, it's all allowed. It's fine. It's fine. I'd now like to call upon Nafisa Mudli. Nafisa.
Good morning, everybody. So when Usha said we needed to do a speech for this graduation event, for the ladies of the 2019 Lems that know me, I'm not so much of a structured person. And I don't like putting things to paper. I love spontaneity. But anyway, I did do a speech, and I'll try to refer to it as much as I can. When I saw the announcement for Lems, I was going through a career choice that I needed to make. I was in a really fantastic opportunity in industry where I was being groomed to be CFO in the next 3 years. However, the incumbent that was grooming me was always conflicting with my value system and my beliefs. And there was a time that came where I had to make a decision: is this what I want to do? Or do I need to look out for what is the true me? I therefore signed up for this program, and it definitely answered my questions. The Lems program has impacted my growth tremendously. Being in a group of similar women in similar professions, mothers, wives, sisters, etc., who are facing similar challenges to you, it's comforting in a sense, and you are not alone. The message that it brings is that you are not alone in this thing we call life, where we're trying to do a triad balance between your career choice, your family, and your personal choices. Lems was no ordinary program. It was designed such that we had to reflect upon the learnings as it pertains to you and your experiences. We were also privy to what 20 other people in the room thought, perceived, acted, or reacted to any particular situation or topic that we were discussing. And that transformational impact is undoubtedly remarkable. The self-reflection that we shared during our homework exercises brought about a true meaning and understanding of, where your pitfalls are, what are your weaknesses, what are your strengths, and what you need to constantly remind yourself of in your day-to-day life. Not only to satisfy what you're trying to achieve, but also to develop a more bigger meaning of why we are here on this earth. There are five takeaways that I have from the Lems program. 1, never be afraid to be ambitious. The time is now. Take responsibility, admit your mistakes, and move forward. Delegate, delegate, delegate. Don't just do what you're good at. Learn how to tap into your less dominant energies. And lastly, always be true to who you really are. I'd like to thank SAICA, Usha, for being an exceptional mentor, coach throughout the program. Taruna, for always showering us with your love and your bubbly energy and all your gifts. And also lastly to the ladies, I hope that we could take this relationship forward and lean on each other for support in the years to come. I'm really looking forward to keep that connection. Thank you.
And finally, Nicole is looking at me very anxiously. I'd now like to call upon Nicole Kelby. Nicole.
Reflecting on our Lems journey, I find it difficult to pinpoint one obvious highlight. There are just far too many of them. Lems has been structured in such a great way that each week's session and homework has enabled us to grow exponentially. Contribution Compass really hit the course off with a bang, and from then on, we didn't stop learning. The tools shared by Usha have already made a big impact in my work environment, from delegation to managing meetings, to time management. I feel revitalized to learn and make improvements to our business. I also feel Lems hasn't been easy. This course has forced us to answer hard questions, handle difficult conversations with ourselves, and sometimes others, and spend time on ourselves. It was also hard learning that LinkedIn notifies someone whenever you've clicked on their profile, only after I had done so on numerous profiles of people I didn't know. The key now is to continue on this journey together, to keep implementing these amazing tools and cherish our network of Lems ladies to uplift and guide each other. Thank you, Usha, for arranging such thought-provoking and engaging content. Thank you, Taruna and Naeem, for your support of Lems. I hope the program grows from strength to strength. To the Lems ladies, thank you for your honesty, your help, and your camaraderie throughout the program. It has been a pleasure connecting with you over the last 6 months. Thank you.
Thank you to all the ladies for sharing your thoughts, your perceptions, and of the program. I think it's really encouraging, and I think at the same time inspiring when you hear the words coming out from the actual participants. And I think it really does make a difference, and it does resonate with one and all. And I'm sure for our Lems and for our Lems alumni, the ladies in that row there, that I'm sure all of this resonates with you when you were in the program last year. Before we go on to the final closing, I'd just like to acknowledge the absentees for today. I'd like to acknowledge Tashvira Naidu, Tobeka Zuma, Rivashni Naidu, Sudarshan Naidu. Sudarshan. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sudarshan Naidu, Sudarshan Naidu, and Marilyn David. We really missed you here today, and we wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Before I do any further closings, but I'd like to call upon Usha, our wonderful Wonder Woman coach, mentor, facilitator, brain-based coach. I'd like to call upon Usha and all the rest that goes with it to do a closing for us. Usha?
Thank you, Naeem. And wow, just congratulations to all of our graduates. You've all stood up here and blown us all away. And to those of you who thought that you couldn't stand up and speak in public and didn't think that you had the confidence to do so, none of you showed it up here. All you showed us were future keynote speakers, future motivational speakers, future ambassadors of many brands that could actually go out there and change thinking and transform with your passion and your energy. And before we close, I want to share a small story with you and of an action that you inspired me to take. After session 4 of our program, together I went away and I really reflected on what more can I be doing in terms of women empowerment. So I do a lot, and I do it under my own brand, but I really want to expand it and scale it and impact many, many, many more women out there in the way that I could see that I had been impacting all of you, and in the way that I certainly know that I impacted our ladies from last year, and in the way that I impact clients on other journeys and programs. And after session 4, I went away and I thought about it, and I called up a couple of friends. Networks are so important, and I said, this is it, and this is what I want to do, and I really want to scale it. And the problem that we're trying to solve is that so many women are just gliding through life. So many women are just going with the flow that they're being taken on, and they're not able to get back into the driver's seat, to take back that power, to take back control, and to really direct where their life should be going. And that's what I saw all of you start to do through the Lems journey with us. And that's what I want to do with so many more women out there. And to do that, I've set up what I call Meraki evolution. And Meraki is a word, it's of Greek origin, that means do whatever you do with passion, with purpose, with soul, with creativity. And if you think back to what's really touched a chord for you, what has inspired you to change and transform and take action, it's because you've awakened the soul, the passion, the purpose, the creativity within you. And you've used that to ignite your personal journeys going forward. So Meraki Evolution's what we want to be doing. It's the brand that will encapsulate everything that we do in the women empowerment space. You're all Meraki women. Every woman here in the room today, you're all Meraki women. And Meraki is not just for women, it's for men too. But today's a Women Empowerment Day, and we're celebrating women. But the men that support us, the men that open doors, the men that stand here and help us up onto stage, and that create opportunities, and that bring programs like this into the workplace. It's the men in the workplace that are saying, yes, we see that there's a need for change, we see that there's a need for transformation, and allow women the space to do it, and allow women the space to do it in a way that is true to them. Those are the men that are Meraki men as well. But I wanted to tell you all about Meraki evolution, and I want you to know that it's Lems gems that inspired the Meraki evolution, the birth of Meraki evolution. So I want to see it grow from strength to strength. And I want to see all of you being a part of that community and inspiring and growing other women too. Because whatever you've got, whatever you've learned, the only way to pay it forward is to teach somebody else, and is to help somebody else, and is to take someone else on that journey with you. So today I want to share that I am more than proud of every single one of you that has stood up here and that has shared your story and that has gone through the program and that has experienced a personal transformation and has used that transformation to impact others in the workplace, to impact your families at home, and who will continue to grow and impact others around you. And to our Lems 2018, I've seen you do this. I've seen you create community and spirit. Every time I meet you at different events, and we do meet often, we're talking here, Lems 2019, of the community that we can create. It's up to each one of you to really feed that community. We've seen it in our 2018 graduates, where the community's gone through book clubs and events and inspiring talks and just the knowledge that they share amongst each other. It's what you should do too. But it's to plug into it and now call ourselves all Meraki women who are living with passion, who are living with purpose, who are bringing all of ourselves into everything that we're doing, who are being present and who are just making ourselves counted. And totally, completely, 100% proud of all of you. I can confidently say that you are in the driver's seats of your lives. And wherever you choose to take your car, your vehicle, your airplane, whatever it is that you're transporting yourself in, wherever you choose to take yourself, you'll get there. Just make the decision and take that action every single day. Connect with people that can help you, and just go from point A to B and do it in style. And just be proud and bathe in the glory and celebrate all that you're doing along the way. Thank you once again to SAICA Eastern Region for bringing the Lems program to the Eastern Region and for affording me the opportunity to facilitate it and to create the environment and the space to do so, and for affording all of these women to sign up and be a part of that journey and to help and to allow it to transform their experiences. Naeem, fearless leader, we expect to see lots more women empowerment happening in the region. I always do this in front of people. Then what can he say? He's got to say yes. But the fact is, he's always an advocate of it, and seeing the proof and hearing your stories just really entrenches just the need for it that we've got and the difference that it makes. Taruna, once again, thank you very much. And to every single one of our Lems gems, I wish you nothing more than 1,000% more than what you're hoping to achieve in the rest of your life. And all the best to you. We're going to meet here for photographs at the end of the session, and Naeem will trigger that. But when we do meet, we'll bring all of our gladiator glory into those photos too. Thank you, and well done to everybody.
So Usha has said everything. Not much for me to say. She's covered all what I was supposed to say. So thank you, Usha, for stealing my glory. But nevertheless, I think first and foremost, I'd like to thank the graduates of this year. One, for staying on the course, for your commitment. You know, sometimes when you look at an extended period of time, your interest sometimes wanes. And I think Bernice mentioned that she's been on a number of leadership courses, but this was a leadership course with a difference. And I think that is really encouraging, it's really inspiring, and hearing what you as an individual had to share with us, your thoughts and perceptions, and I'm sure, no doubt, in my mind, that those that haven't been on the program and the significant others that are here would also be inspired by this. Every now and again, it's like your cell phone, you need a recharge. And I think all of us need that recharge every now and again to hear that inspirational story that will just keep us going. And I think myself included as well. There's been you have shared a number of inspiring thoughts with me. I'm not too sure, was it Nafisa who mentioned, no, sorry, Silindile, if I can just get to Silindile. When she started off and she said where she came from, what was her qualifications, the passing of the first time, there's some principle in there for chartered accountants. The way we are hardwired is that we don't take time to celebrate our successes. Most often than not, we don't do that. We come to a problem, we solve it, major, minor, whatever the case may be, and we move on to the next one. It's like how we are hardwired to problem solve, and we're on to the next challenge. But we don't take time to reflect as to what we have done, our success. And that Usha has mentioned, she's the coach, not me. The personal branding side comes to it. And the personal branding of who you are, the authenticity of who you are, and the realness of who you are, if there's ever such a word. And that authenticity is what the public out there wants. They like the story, but they like the story to be authentic. And be that authentic self that you are, the values-based living. Somebody mentioned about values, I can't remember all of it. Staying true to your values and your core values as to who you are. I think it was Nafisa. So those are important messages that we need to take in to us. Think and reflect about all what has been mentioned today, the different perspectives. And there's golden nuggets in each one of you, and golden nuggets of what you have shared with each one of us. And I think these are the things that we keep on resonating. We should keep on resonating within ourselves, and these things will drive our passion and take us forward. Lems Gems, I think that's a lovely one. Lems Gems 2.0, Lems Gems, what's going to come into the future. And I think this program in terms of women empowerment is significant. We talk a lot about transformation, and I think the word transformation was used a number of times today as a transformational journey, a personal transformational journey. We look at it in the South African context, and when we talk about transformation, generally most often than not, we look at it from a race perspective. But one of the things that is neglected a lot is the female empowerment, is the woman empowerment. And I think these are the things, and this is the reason why, one of the reasons or the driving factors for having such a program. Last but not least, an invitation that I'm opening out to our Lems Gems 1.0 there, and our Lems Gems 2.0 is an open invitation to you to become a SAICA ambassador. We are starting off a program. It's in concept phase. But I felt it not premature to share this with you. It may be premature for me to tell you the details because we're still working on the detail, but an open invitation to you to become a SAICA ambassador. And a SAICA ambassador pretty much means that you're an extended part of the SAICA family. And I think one and all that is here today, from the graduates to the past graduates, in some shape or form, you have been already a SAICA ambassador, a CASA ambassador. And I think this is what I'd like you to be part of as well. So we will share that information with you, and we will communicate that with you. Last but not least, a huge congratulations to you. A huge congratulations to you on achieving and graduating on this program. It is such an achievement. A pat on your back, you deserve it. So a huge round of applause to everybody. A huge thank you to Usha, our coach, our brain-based coach, as my boss Taruna told me. And a huge thank you to Taruna for putting this event together. This event and this program, without Taruna and Usha running this program, and of course I had no part in this. When Usha and Taruna get together, you got no chance. So thank you sincerely for all what you've done. We really appreciate it. And sometimes with this journey, we may not necessarily see that immediate, the accountant term ROI. That ROI will come. Stay on the course, stay true to yourself, stay authentic, and most definitely you will succeed. Thank you once again, and I hope that you're not too much in a rush. We have got some sumptuous eats for you today, and we'd like to take a group photo with Lems Gems 2.0. So Taruna will guide us where we will take the group photo. Taruna?
If I had to describe Lems in one word, it would be inspiring,
Uplifting.
Confidence.
Insightful.
liberating,
Empowering.
Wonderful.
Inspiring.
Transformational.
introspective,
Action.
Phenomenal.
Game changer. Awe-inspiring.